Have you ever felt like someone in your life was too far gone? Too rough around the edges? Too set in their ways to change? Well, today I want to share how Don Bosco looked at the roughest street boys of 19th century Turin and saw something that everyone else missed. What he discovered amid that great ignorance will challenge how you see the difficult people in your own life. The Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Welcome to the Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco. I'm Adrian Fonseca. These videos exist to share timeless wisdom from St. John Bosco that can transform your spiritual life and inspire you to grow closer to Christ and Our Lady. Today's story is about discovering your own potential to see past someone's exterior and recognize the saint that they could become. Whether it's a difficult family member, a challenging coworker, or even that voice in your head telling you that you're too broken to change, Don Bosco's approach at the Valdocco Oratory will show you a completely different way forward. As we step into the oratory, ask yourself, who in your life have you given up on? And what if you're wrong about them? Later in this video, I'll share how you can get your hands on Don Bosco's own book, Sacred History, the very same stories that he used to transform these street boys into saints. But first, let me take you back to 1800s Turin, where miracles happened daily. The sun is rising over Turin, and through the doors of a simple oratory walk some of the city's most hopeless cases. Boys who've been written off by society. Boys who don't know how to pray. Who curse like sailors. And who've never experienced genuine love. Don Bosco looked at these same boys and saw future saints. With his profound love for young people, Don Bosco saw potential in almost every boy who came through his doors. He saw them as individuals with unlimited capacity for goodness. Don Bosco himself wrote about these boys. It should be noted that amid that great ignorance, they always held a deep respect for the things of the church, the sacred ministers, and a strong desire to learn the dogmas and precepts of religion. Think about that. Even in their ignorance, he saw their desire to learn. A typical day at the oratory began very early. Church doors opened for morning mass, and here's where you'd witness the first miracle. These rough street boys actually wanted to be there. Confessions began early and continued until mass. Sometimes mass was delayed because so many boys were eager to receive the Eucharist. That alone was a miracle. Don Bosco sang the mass and then delivered a short sermon. Initially, these sermons explained the gospel. But as time passed, Don Bosco began incorporating stories from sacred history that captivated his young audience. Don Bosco had a unique gift for bringing sacred stories to life, making them accessible and even engaging for his young listeners. These tales not only taught history and religion, but also helped instill virtues and a love for God. After Mass came recreation, games, mock battles with wooden swords, activities focused on building strength and character. But even during play, Don Bosco was working. He walked among them, and as they played, always seeking ways to shape their hearts. If he heard foul language, he'd take the boy aside and gently remind him that such words were displeasing to the Lord. And if a boy was keeping bad company, Don Bosco would speak privately, asking him to consider the consequences. And here's the key. When he spoke to them, he always did so personally, as though he truly knew them, heart and soul, and probably because he did. And at 2:30, catechism began. Many of these boys didn't even know how to pray. So Don Bosco would lead the prayers, and gradually, they began to catch on. Within a year, they were singing the little office of Our Lady together. Okay, catechism is finished. What next? It was time for a little more recreation. But even then, Don Bosco remained vigilant. He used his time to provide extra catechism lessons to those who didn't know how to pray, to train boys with good voices and music, and to teach illiterate boys how to read. And as always, there were games. The real transformation is what Don Bosco called his fishing time. He'd move through the crowd, speaking privately with each boy, offering encouragement or gentle corrections, always with kindness. Whether reminding someone to go to confession or urging another to obey his parents, Don Bosco was helping them grow, one conversation at a time. This deeply personal connection was the secret to his success. The ceremonies and lessons were just tools. The real key was his belief that every single boy could become a saint. Through his tireless efforts, he created a community of genuine disciples, not through harsh rules or severe discipline, but through relationships. He met each person where they were, loved them unconditionally, and then helped them grow without compromising truth. And this reminds me of the very story that Don Bosco used to transform these boys. The sacred history tales that captured their imagination and changed their hearts. These weren't just random stories. They were carefully chosen biblical heroes that showed these street boys what they could become. Don Bosco actually wrote many of these stories down in his book, Sacred History, and it's become one of his most powerful works. The problem is, these transformative stories are nearly impossible to find nowadays. Most people have never even heard of sacred history, let alone had the chance to read the same stories that turned criminals into saints. That's why we've made the best parts of Don Bosco's sacred history available as a special gift to our monthly promoters of St. John Bosco. When you become a monthly promoter, you'll receive this book along with daily masses offered for your intentions, daily rosaries prayed for you, our bi-monthly crusade magazine, and beautiful images of Our Lady Help of Christians and St. John Bosco. If you'd like to experience that same sacred history stories that transformed the roughest boys of Turin into saints, click the link in the description box down below to become a monthly promoter today and receive your copy of this incredible book. Don Bosco's method teaches us that the most powerful tool for transformation is not force, and it's not manipulation. It's seeing potential where others see problems. So who in your life have you written off? That difficult teenager? That stubborn relative? That coworker who drives everyone crazy? What if, like Don Bosco, you started seeing them as who they could become? It's a powerful reminder that no matter how difficult the circumstances, love applied consistently and patiently will conquer all when done for God's greatest glory. Speaking of transformation, I think you really enjoy our video, Why did Don Bosco care so much about teaching manners, turning street boys into gentlemen? It's appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for joining me today. St. John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.